My education is in pathology, where diagnosis is what it's all about. But beyond that, and I didn't really make a career out of that, is what happened to my son in 2002 when he had collapsed while running in Waco, Texas at Baylor University. He was self-recovered. He was taken to a hospital, and there and in another hospital in Waco, he was evaluated for 5 days. So after his first collapse that wasn't fatal, he had a very long QT interval, and he had the diagnostic criteria for long QT syndrome. They didn't make the diagnosis, but just they knew they hadn't figured out what caused his initial collapse. It turns out it was acquired versus genetic. There's two forms, and they should have made that diagnosis. The reason he was had long QT syndrome was potassium depletion, and that's a well-known cause of prolonging the QT interval. And he got that from running in the heat of Texas in the summer. So I knew there was something wrong early on, and I actually discussed my son's potassium levels, which were low, with that cardiologist. He said it wasn't important. If only he had recognized that and acted accordingly. His cardiologist totally missed it. They gave him a clean bill of health 5 days after discharge. He went back to running because no one ever told him not to run. And 2.5 weeks later, he was running and died. So then the question comes up, what happened? Why did this happen? There were a number of technical errors, and there was one communication error. They knew he shouldn't go back to running, and they didn't tell him. They failed to make that diagnosis, and it's a big risk factor for sudden cardiac death. And that's what killed him 3 weeks after that.